Hello everyone, it's Nytbelle, and welcome back to Roman's Christmas. If you don't recall, last time we had to do a little bit of sniffing around with a clogged nose, and that didn't really work out too well. So this time we're going to try to do our best without our number one ability, which is our sniffing, and hopefully I don't ruin this. So without too much further ado, let's head right on into it. After a thorough search, I asked everyone to come to the hall for trial. Thrivy took off the mask he wore during his autopsy. You may start now. Heron looked down and whispered, Unto God's gracious mercy and protection we commit you. The Lord bless you and keep you. May God's face to shine upon you, and may he be gracious unto you, both now and evermore. Amen. Lunac and Solar were sitting facing toward each other. Toward each other? I'm pretty sure no one will agree to this, but is there anyone that thinks Yanis died from an accident? Trial start. I got a theory. I'm not quite sure it's polite to say. Well, no games, Peter, just talk. I heard rumors that some people strangle themselves on purpose to increase the pleasure from... What kind of rumors do you listen to? I'm pretty much sure that it's totally unrelated and completely unimportant, both to me or the case at the moment. Well, could someone do something so... Let's save the moral outrage for later, alright? Let's focus on what we can gather from the evidence. I'm pretty sure this isn't a case of that. It seems to contradict the evidence. What will prove that that is not the case? The arrow reached the pleura? Or the strangle marks? The arrow. You don't get strangled by an arrow. Also, reaching the pleura isn't that difficult. Anyway. The arrow stuck in his chest seems to be inserted quite deep. The arrow was deep enough to penetrate his pleural cavity and possibly his lung. If it did, his lung would have collapsed due to the pressure difference. I'm pretty sure that even a masochist would have trouble with such self-inflicted wound. Also, if this is actually that, then the rope he used would still be on his neck. Maybe we can ignore the scars for the time being, says Elvin. Alright, we can basically rule out accidental death for right now. It's time to figure out the likely suspects. First, we can exclude the 3 people in the attic. The reason is simple. Because... Oh, I have to actually find it in these testimonies. When you lift the ladder, it makes a squeaky sound. There would be a loud friction sound when the ladder in the attic is dragged up and down, but no one heard it. True enough, but we could narrow the range of possible suspects further. If we exclude... Marquis Lunac can be ruled out because he was a night watcher last night, but I will need you to testify further. But of course... Then the possible suspects can be narrowed down to Peter, Heron, Elegant, Marquis, Solar, and myself. Why not Lunac? Why not Lunac? Why did I... It's alright, I didn't do it anyway. The important thing is to find the murderer. So, I want to hear Marquis Solar's testimony first. Did you notice anything abnormal last night? I'll need all the details, no matter if you're unsure about it or not. If you say so, Mr. Detective. Testimony. I didn't sleep well last night, possibly because of the medicine. But instead of leaving the room, I laid on the bed and tried to sleep. While I was on the bed, I heard some abnormal sounds like the friction sound of someone trying to shift something outside. It was quite clear. Something smells fishy. Maybe I'll press harder for more information. Which part? That rubbing sound. A friction sound? Could you elaborate on that? It sounded like footsteps. It was louder when I first noticed that, and then the volume was getting lower and lower until it was almost inaudible. Then it became louder once more. So whoever it was that was walking from you, away from you, and then towards you again. And then it went down again, and then they went away. So what makes you think that the potion itself did not help you, especially if Mr. Doctor Man keeps saying that it does help? The medicine didn't work on you? I couldn't get to sleep even after I took the medicine. Same. Then you wouldn't have had the time to commit this crime instead of sleeping. What? Couldn't be heard clearly then? You appear to have heard quite well. There wasn't any wind howling last night, so I heard it clearly. Okay, and then you didn't leave the room. You stayed in your room all night. It's unsuitable for ladies to go out casually at night. That's true. Okay. Please add what you just mentioned to testimony. With pleasure. Please testify again. Testimony. I fell asleep really late last night. I was a lady. I didn't want to leave my room casually. So, while I was in bed, I did hear sounds like footsteps. It was quiet at night, so I heard it quite clearly. Wait a sec. Hold it. What happened? Something sounds suspicious in your testimony. What's the contradiction? I think someone talked about how it was like actually really loud last night. Yeah. Lunik said, so your own husband said, because of the wind and snow sound being so loud, no unusual sound was heard during Lunik's vigil, and no one came downstairs. Marquis Lunik was the night watch last night downstairs. According to his own words, the snow was heavy at night. And you mentioned that it is quiet at night. I'm afraid that's not possible. Well, it might be because I was nervous. I was in bed listening to the footsteps outside. But I did hear it, I swear. Fine, I would note it down first. So, says Elliot, Solar heard a difference in the sound because of its sounds changed in volume. The distance changed. The suspect was moving on the ledge outside the tavern, so their distance from Solar's room also changed. The footsteps sounded faint when far away and grew louder as they got closer. In other words, says Elegant, it was because of the suspect's movements. From the map of the tavern, when the suspect committed the crime, they must have passed by Solar's room twice. The suspect first passed by Solar's room on the ledge outside. At that time, the noise that they made had not yet attracted her attention. So when Solar finally heard the noise, they were already on the ledge past her room. And then they continued to walk towards Yanis's room. Their footsteps were getting quieter as well. Outside Yanis's room, the suspect entered the room and murdered Yanis. Then, after committing the crime, they returned along the same path and passed outside Solar's room again. And as they returned to their own room, their footsteps grew progressively quieter until they disappeared. But she heard it twice. This can explain why the sound of the footsteps that she heard changed from loud to quiet, then loud again, and then disappeared. Then the possible suspects are narrowed down to 2 people. Heron, for one. Heron, I suspect 4. That seems true, considering the location of his room. Who else? Peter. Peter, I suspect 1. In other words, Heron and Peter, who are staying in the rooms on the right, had to pass by Solar's room if they were going to commit crimes in Yanis's room. Oh, wait, says Peter. Hold it. What? The ledge outside Sean's room broke down 2 decades ago. But it's still possible if the murderer jumped over the gap. You can't easily jump over such a big gap unless you're TSARZN. If the murderer didn't come from the rooms on the right side, it wouldn't have made that kind of sound. Then how do you explain Solar's testimony? Perhaps he had it wrong, says Luna. I know exactly what I heard, says Solar. That means, says Elegant, and 2 of us, we're the only 2 suspects. And I know clearly that I'm innocent, also says the 2 of us. Which means you're the culprit! Anyway, care to tell me what you did last night, Elegant? Why me? Should I be tough or gentle? Well, it seems like gentle doesn't work with her because, like, she was caught rifling through my stuff earlier, and, I let it go. I think it's time to get tough. Well, but then again, she tends to be tough. And if I'm gentle, then I might look good to everyone else. But I don't care how I look. I know the truth. I'm detective. I'm in charge. Very well. Testimony. You know, if the murderer did break into the room from the outside, then we are the only true suspects. I was sleeping the whole evening, and I am unsure of how to prove my innocence. But I have no motive to kill Yanis. What did I ask about? Well, I wanted to ask her about my arrow, because she was the one going through my desk. Well, tell me about the suspect. The range of suspects could be expanded. Then who else might be involved? I'm not so sure at the moment. Tell me about your alibi. Are you sure you don't have any alibi? What can I say? Why would you kill him? What about a motive? I knew him for less than 2 days, and he has nothing to do with my mission. There's also the fact that Yanis's name is crossed out in your notebook. Must we do the same song and dance routine again? No, my notebook is not a kill list or anything else. And are you not more suspicious than I? You suddenly develop a cold, and there are traces of snow in your room. Yeah, because my window is open. Most importantly, the arrow from your drawer was found in the wound. Yeah, who told you that? You know what, Roman? It will not help if you hide the evidence you have, especially in this kind of situation. Hiding that from everyone is the exact thing the murderer wants you to do. Yeah, but how do you know? Even if the evidence suggests you did it. It would make you look suspicious indeed. However, we must leave no stone unturned in order to find out the truth. Got it. So when exactly did you go through my drawer? Time to testify. Are you ready? I'm ready. Just explain the doubts. One by one would be good, but can that solve this? Testimony. Why was the window open? I can't have opened it myself because I know I closed it. I don't know if I locked it or not. It might have been blown open by the wind. But there are footsteps outside of my room. So someone else must have opened it. I closed my window before I went to bed last night, but when I woke up this morning, it was open. I think it's because someone opened the window. How would I catch a cold at this time? Why now? Because the window was open. The window was open, so my room was flooded with cold air all night. That's why it was so cold. And what about the arrows in the drawer? It was evidence from the last case. Evidence from the last official case I was on. I came to the White Star before coming back to the agency to drop off the evidence because it was on the way. I didn't want anyone discovering it, so I hid the arrow in my drawer. The rest of the evidence in my backpack matches it. So why was it in Yanis's chest? The killer plugged it in. The arrow should have been inserted by the murderer who stole it, based on the evidence at that moment. Am I motivated to kill Yanis? Absolutely not. As for motive, I don't really have one. Wait a moment, says Peter. Hold it. Again. Didn't Yanis ask you to pay back some money yesterday? You seemed nervous. You think I'd murder my friend for that little? Also, when his body was found this morning, his wallet was empty. Now that I can explain, says TSARZN. When he paid the room fee yesterday, he asked me to take care of his extra money while he was here. Why'd he do that? To prevent him from gambling again, I guess. Anyway, getting to guard such a large fortune makes me feel a bit dragonish again, so he had a large fortune. Kinda makes sense, guess I'm free of suspicion now. La victoire est mienne! What? I have figured out how the murderer committed this vicious crime. Huh? Are you seriously trying to steal my job? Testimony. First, the murderer assembled the collapsible error found in Monsieur Detective's drawer, then tied a string to the end of the error as a tether. Like the previous murderer did. And then he climbed outside the window and skulked like a thief to Yanis's room by using the ledge. The clever murderer opened the window, killed Yanis on his bed, then pulled the string in an attempt to retrieve the arrow. But because the arrow had been disassembled and assembled repeatedly, it came apart. Quelle surprise! The murderer only received the back half of the arrow. Then the murderer returned to his room along the way back, with nobody there either. That does explain a lot, but something seems to be missing, says Ruby. Roman seems really suspicious if you look at it that... Oh, sorry, that's Peter. Roman really seems suspicious if you look at it that way. Coming into Yanis's room that way, and then returning to his room, leaving footprints on the ledge outside the window. Everyone looked at me, eyes full of doubts. I was biting my thumb. I need to hurry and give an explanation, or else I'll end up as the murderer. I looked at Elegant, and she looked at me too. Although I believe, given your intelligence and character, you would not commit such a crime, you had better prove it. Oh, so Elegant's on my side now. It does make sense when you first hear it, but the evidence contradicts it. Quoi? How interesting. Which evidence contradicts Lunac's guess? Well, here's the thing, though. It can't be me because I have the shallowest footprints. But that's not gonna help this. Here, just because it got loud, so someone was going towards her, and then quiet again. Solar's testimony. Was that the question? What was Lunac's guess again? Hang on. Okay, so Lunac's guess was the killer assembled the arrow, walked to Yanis's window, shot him, attempted to recover the arrow, and part of it came loose. So that is contradicted by... Well, I guess it'll be Solar, because I wouldn't have to go that far to, like, pass her. It's also because she hears someone going there and coming back, you know? That doesn't really contradict what Lunix said, though. But I can't think of anything else that would count. Minimal bleeding? He was killed before that. No. The autopsy? I'm gonna say the autopsy and hope for the best. The problems with the body. Elegant, clearly relieved, relaxed her tight shoulders. I don't think Yaz was killed by the arrow. Why was his death not caused by the arrow injury? The wound bleeded a little. The arrow reached the pleura, or the strangle marks. There wasn't much bleeding. Because the wound was hardly bleeding, even though technically the arrow would stop it, so... Plus, the markings on his neck suggest that his cause of death was suffocation. How much difference could a different cause of death make? A lot, because it suggests that the arrow in his chest was used to throw suspicion on me and muddle the actual evidence. And this method seems familiar to me. Where have I seen Lunix's theory before? My notes? If I can find them. My case notes. You know, the case I completed in Sunnyvale seems very similar to your guess. What are you on about, Monsieur Detective? Whether it's the bow and arrow or the method of recovering the weapon with a string, don't you think it's too similar to be described as mere coincidence? Some scholars believe that criminals tend to commit crimes following similar methodologies, like copycat killers, yeah. Par conséquent, it's not surprising that you would do this. But there are others here who, like me, are very familiar with this case. Others? Other than Anzox? Let's see. He's the Marquis of Sunnyvale, so he would of course know this method. It was Lunix. Guess not. Solar. Wait, what is going on? I'm lost. I wasn't familiar with this case. So Lunix, Solar, because she's from there. One of them is Solar. You were there on the day I solved the case, and I also reported to you in detail about the investigation. If someone could frame me in this way, it can only be you. Impossible. Neither my husband nor I are that kind of... But shouldn't your window be locked unless the culprit came through your room? Of course not. This is all wrong. Why are you so sure? Very simple, because you said the murderer opened the window, killed the Yanis on his bed with the arrow, then pulled the string to retrieve the arrow. Now that the murderer can open Yanis's window, would it be so difficult for him to also open mine? Then how did he open it? Just guess and should not be enough to be admissible as evidence. The window has a drop-off lock. If he inserted a sufficiently thin, hard object through the window gap like a dagger, he could push the lock lever away from the locked position. It's not that difficult, right? However, you and the Cat are still the only two suspects. My name is Elegant. Also, I suddenly realized something. The scope of the suspects was wrong, because we were wrong about the suspect's starting point this whole time. What starting point? We have water on the stairs. The starting point where the suspect climbed out from inside the room to the ledge. Where did the suspect move to the outside? Oh, I have to guess this? Oh boy. What if they started at Lunac and Solars? You can't go this way because Sean's. So it has to be from here. What if they started at Vincel's? Or even my room? Did I lock my room? Because I'm pretty sure mine had mine had the shallowest or the deepest footprints. Yeah, so what if they just started at Lunac and Solars? Because he would have the key, would he not? Especially if Solar doesn't move. The suspect moved to the outside from the window in Lunac's room. It was me. I was the one. What's going on? Are you sure about that? I don't know what you're thinking, but if you want to cover for someone, don't do that. Where did the suspect move to the outside? So it wasn't Lunac and Solars then. And Sean's is broken. Vincel's? From Vincel's room? Then how do you explain the sound? That was... What I heard was not so precise. I withdraw my testimony. I'm afraid it's a bit too late for that Marquise. So I guess that's not right either. So if they went through my room? They moved the into my room. Wasn't that you? Sorry, wrong sequence. I messed up. Hey, why do you keep saying something that doesn't matter? I'm sorting out my ideas. I think you're just thinking about how to scapegoat someone. No! Ever since we found Yanis's corpse, your actions have been really suspicious. What? No, I was right. What do you mean? I'm not going to make the same mistake twice, Roman. No, Before I could explain, TSARZN rushed forward and hoisted me off the ground with his claws around my neck. My feet kicked uselessly in the air as my vision swam and buzzing filled my ears. Elegant drew a dagger from her waist and rushed at TSARZN. Her mouth was wide open as if she was shouting something. I could feel the blood splatter from TSARZN's injured arm, but his grip didn't lose its strength. If anything, it tightened. My vision grew darker. I couldn't hear what she was screaming, and the world seemed to fall away. The last thing I could see... Roger Ackroyd. The last thing I could see was a world in black. There was a light glinting from tears on TSARZN's snout. I think I broke it. I broke it. The end. Yeah, I don't think that was correct. I think that was the bad ending. Question mark? Yeah, that was a bad ending. Whoops. Let's try that again. No. Took off the mask, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Start. Let's do this again. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, where did suspect move to the outside? From Vincel's. Not elegant, but from Vincel's. It's open. Then how do you explain the sound? That was... What I heard was not so precise. I withdraw my testimony. If it's a bit too late for that, Marquise. I guess not. You can't go all the way around, can you? I don't think so. There was nothing wrong with Kane's. Oh, they were shuffling! Kane's room. The legend of Sean's Wicker Road. How did they get there? I guess not. Elegant? Can't be Heron or Peter or Sean. So it'd have to be elegant. Are you suspecting me? That's not what I meant. Now I'm lost. So you can't go around this way. Yes? But his room was locked. Unless it wasn't locked, you open it, go through Yanis's room, go this way, steal my stuff, and then come back. And then escape. Can't think of anything else it would be. Suspect outside window in Yanis's room. Finally figured it out. Suspect was in Yanis's room from the beginning. After strangling Yanis, the criminal climbed out of the window and made their way towards my room. After removing the window lock from the outside, they checked my nightstand and backpack, took the arrow, and returned to Yanis's room. They stabbed the arrow into Yanis's chest and climbed out the window again. C'est absurde! Hold it. Save. Let me save. What? Oh no! Was it not established that the suspect can return to the window from the outside, right? The range of suspects hasn't changed at all. No, the criminal went to another room. From which window did they leave the outside? What? So they were in Yanis's room. Went here, did this. And then... through Vincel's or mine? Okay, so she heard it get loud and quiet, and then loud and quiet. Vincel's room, or my room? Can't be Elegance. Or Vincel's. Could have been Vincel's. I don't remember. I wish I could take a look at my notes. Let's try mine. And then escape. But that wouldn't make sense. Vincel's. Through the window in Vincel's room. It's now empty. They could just jump in from there. I think TSARZN didn't lock that room last night. It seems I didn't. And you killed me last time too, TSARZN. But in that case, it makes sense. Oh, wait, please. If you think that mere words are enough to prove... No, I have the conclusive evidence. Evidence that they left from Vincel's room? Well, his window. It was not open, but there were water stains on the sill. Please check his window out. Although the window is closed now, there's a puddle of water on the windowsill. That means... the killer brought it in. That's Vincel's drool. The killer brought it in. When they entered the room, they must have brought the snow outside into the room. Moreover, the murderer went downstairs. Because there was that water. If I can find it. TSARZN. He slipped. TSARZN said he fell when he went downstairs. There's a puddle of water on the stairs. It shows that the snow on the murderer was tracked on the stairs. Now that you said that no one came downstairs last night, I think it's already clear who the culprit is. Q&A. Saving. Right. Weapon. First, let's talk about the weapon. What's the weapon? It's clearly whatever they used to strangle. His belt. If I can find it. Yanis's clothing. Here's a lethal weapon. Clothes on the nightstand. Yanis's key. The wallet is empty. The belt is pulled out. That's his belt. He has banded strangulation marks on his neck, and I believe that's what caused them. The arrow was stuck in him after his death. Method. Method? There we go. Method. Modus operandi. Operandi. Here's how things played out. Deductive reasoning. Arrange the occurrences chronologically from top to bottom by dragging chips into each position. So, the suspect strangled Yanis with a belt. And then they... Oh, sorry, no. They entered his room through the door. Strangled him with a belt. Entered my room to collect the arrow. Went back and used the arrow. And then... Oh, wait, what? They left through Vincel's room. Yeah. This is a sequence of events. Suspect. Murderer is... Who's murderer? Whoever was downstairs. Lunik. Lunik is a murderer. What are you talking about? Mr. Detective, please. I'll explain this whole case, including your motive and your tricks. You will cease this slander immediately, or I... Sorry, Marquis, but I have to. Motive. About the motive. According to our inference, you entered Yanis's room through the door because he offered to let you spend the night with him. Or in his room, at least. Here's a question. Why did you enter his room at midnight? It seemed, this is elegant, it seemed that you two had a long conversation when deciding who would be the night watchman. And Yanis is naked. Stop! Shut up! Says Solar. Why is he naked? What's the matter? He undressed himself? Yanis undressed himself. Was he used to sleeping naked? I have no idea, but I think he wasn't undressed to sleep. What then? I think he was undressed because clothes would have gotten in the way. Are you trying to imply something? Absolutely not. They were gay. That's impossible. How could someone be like that? Even if that's true, my husband would never. So you mean Lunik had sex with Yanis before he killed him? Elegant hesitated, but continued anyway. Dare I ask, who was on top? I don't believe. Silence! You dare slander moi? You have no evidence. You will be punished by God for your lies. No evidence? Then what do you call this? Says Elegant. She raised her paw, showing a pinch of grey fur. Found it on the bed. No, monsieur. Back to the motive. What's his motive? Blackmail. I'm guessing Lunik was blackmailed by Yanis. So, to prevent his secrets from coming to light, Lunik had to kill him. It would be easy, given how much alcohol and valerian potion Yanis had consumed. To say nothing of vigorous workout. That too. Anyway, Yanis could be strangled to death under those conditions. Okay. And you didn't have to kill me this time, TSARZN. Meanie. I liked you. I trusted you. In other words, he's correct. Last evening, Lunik and Yanis agreed to meet in Yanis' room at night. When everyone was asleep, Lunik quietly went upstairs and came to Yanis's door. Did Yanis lock the door? Yeah, because it was closed before he locked the door. After that, Yanis made some demands in exchange for keeping the secret. What was Lunik's reaction? Outrage. Healy! In order not to be blackmailed, Lunik strangled Yanis from behind with a belt on the bedside, leaving the marks on his neck. While thinking about how to find a scapegoat, Lunik remembered the case I solved. So he climbed out of Yanis's window, made his way down the ledge to my room, lifted up the window lock, and opened the window to my room. And now just, sleeping, dead to the world. I took the arrow from my drawer, returned to Yanis's room, put the dead body into a sleeping position, then stabbed him with the arrow to make a wound. Then he left the room through the window, opened Vincel's window, and returned from the unoccupied Vincel's room. He brought the snow outside into the room, leaving a puddle of water after it melted the next day. The snow on him fell when Lunik went downstairs, so there was melted snow on the stairs for TSARZN to trip on. Oh no, safe. The next day, TSARZN stepped on the puddle when he went downstairs and slipped. A clever trick, but you underestimated me too much. No, I died. TSARZN killed me. TSARZN didn't mean. I trusted him. Lunik. Magnifique, Monsieur Detective. Well done. Huh? You're not going to deny it? Why should I? It seems you know your situation well. Je sais bien, but it does not matter. Whether I deny it or not, you cannot touch me. What are you saying? You murdered someone, so Roman can sentence you. None of you are nobility. Oh, you don't even have a proper judge right now. What are you... the Helios Code stipulates that a common-born judge may not sit in judgment over a noble. Remember, I told you this earlier. Wouldn't it be possible to... if you so much as think of trying to tie me up with the feline merchant, I will see to it that your business is destroyed. What could this be? Does this mean that this whole investigation was in vain? I think I got an angry tigress in the works. Do you understand? Then I suggest you all forget this ever happened. He sneered at us like we were insects. Ah yes, I killed that useless muscle-bound oaf. What of it? My only regret, Monsieur Detective, is that you and your cat friend are so good at ferreting out our extramarital affairs. What? Last night, Yanis and I... Solar. I knew it. Nytbelle. What? I don't think she's Chinese. At least that's not the voice I gave her. Lunik's sneer froze in a look of shock, and a dark red stain began to spread across his forest green coat. A dark green cloth made the red blood look even darker, as though his malice was leaking out of the wound. You... He collapsed onto the carpet, and blood from the stab wound slowly pooled under him. The bloody knife clattered to the floor. Solar stood still, but tears dripped through her fur. What happened? Wifey don't like her husband being gay. That's what happened. I don't know. She dropped down, squatting beside Lunik, who was still convulsing and letting out garbled gasps. TSARZN took a half step forward, but I quickly stopped him. What are you doing? He glared at me, his voice a snarl of anger. No, don't. It's not safe to approach now. But the Marquis, even if we wanted to do something, a stab wound like that is fatal. I'm sorry, I didn't know it would be like this. While she was wailing, Elegant quietly approached and picked up her dropped dagger. Darling, I'm sorry, I really didn't want to. Survey ran down the stairs carrying his first aid kit, pushing Heron out of the way as he started to rush to Lunik. Wait, so Elegant just straight up pulls out the dagger? And he just lets it bleed out. Don't stop that. If someone is being stabbed, do not take out the stabby object, because that's what's stopping the bleeding. Yeah. I'm sorry. Solar collapsed on the carpet, and Thurvey hurried to her and turned her over. She's just fine. Fainted, it's fine. What about Lunik? Thurvey put his hand on Lunik's chest, then his throat, then sighed and shook his head. I am afraid he's gone. Says TSARZN. Heron, God has his own arrangements. One case down, one more to... I do not think so, says Elegant. What? You already forgot? According to the Helios Code, a common-bone judge may not sit in judgment over a noble. As a marquise, Solar is also sheltered by that statute. In other words, we can't legally do anything about Solar, and I see no reason to. That's nice. I agree, that's nice. But, she did murder someone. But she also seems like the kind of person that it would be okay to have a wait until we get her to a judge, you know? Like, there's nothing we need to do about her. Like, she'll be fine. She's just a noble-born lady who had a hoe husband. That's nice. Yeah, anyway, there's no other way. At the time Anzox told stories, did you not say the two deserved it? But now, no matter what I think, I can only let Solar off the hook. Solar woke up, says Thurvey. Okay, I'll talk with her. She was sprawled ungracefully in an armchair by the fire, and didn't look at me as I approached her. I don't know what I'm doing, really. Care to tell me what's going on with that dagger you were carrying? The dagger? It was a gift from my mother the night before I got married. She told me, Mother, why are you so late? I had hoped I could give this to you before we were wed. Here, take it. This is a dagger. The night before I married your father, my mother gave it to me, like her mother before her. Why did she give you a dagger? This is no ordinary dagger. It is a memento, a talisman, that will ensure your husband remains faithful and kind. I see. Thank you, Mother. Make sure to keep it close. I suggest hiding it in the inner pocket of your dress, like I do. I doubt the dagger was actually magical, but it did its job one way or the other. Then why did you... Suddenly, I feel that this isn't a good question. I don't know. When he was gloating like that, I just saw red. Why didn't he tell me? Oh, she gonna take off her ring. I thought he acted like this, but because he was worried or under stress or the financial pressure. I always thought that if I helped share the burden, give him time to rest, then he would... Solar ducked her head and whimpered. It's like my body moved on instinct. When I came to, I was already holding the knife and standing behind him. Is this the point where you tell me the verdict? Truth be told, I can't do anything. We don't have any qualified judges here, and we can't leave because of the snow. By the way, if you need any help, just let me know. Thank you. TSARZN, go back to your room. I'll bring you some food later. Since so much has happened, I'd wager you'd prefer being alone right now. He handed me a key. Indeed. Thank you, Detective. He took the key. Solar took the key, delicately wiped her eye, and suddenly went upstairs. I figured you want to tie your hands at least. No need for that, I think. I'd probably have done the same thing if I was in her position. Besides, I'm not used to being so rude to a lady. But you are rude to me! TSARZN! Too technical. Not unreasonable. He sighed and sat in the chair opposite me. Can't believe something like that happened. Well, it's not like we could have known. And Yanis, I really can't imagine it. As a drinking buddy of his for so long, I didn't even realize. Then again, maybe he didn't want others to let others know that. Isn't there, like, a joke about the Marines? TSARZN, I don't quite believe your reasoning. Yanis wasn't the kind of guy who would blackmail someone. I don't think so either, but from Lunik's point of view, it was probably his only option. He couldn't risk the scandal getting out. Really, it was because he mentioned it earlier. Like, he said out loud to everyone, like, hey, you can always join me in my room. Sergeant stood up and dusted off his hands. I should go fix lunch. Peter strode towards me, his expression hostile. Did you say that you protect everyone? What? First Cain, now Anzox, now Giannis. Are you doing this on purpose? He was shouting loud enough that other guests in the hall looked over. Not like I can just magically. B.S. For all we know, you're just manipulating us so you can satisfy your desire to solve murders. What? Do you seriously hear what you're saying right now? You think I enjoy watching the people I care about die? You think anybody, least of all me, is happy with what's been going on? So sorry. He took 2 steps back, turned, and bolted upstairs. It's too hot by the hearth. Let's choose another place. The only remaining trace of Lunac's presence had been reduced to a few red smears on the carpet. Hardly a satisfying solution, says Lint. I guess. By the way, this is for you. She handed me a collection of gray hairs and winked. What? I took it out of the washstand. You what? Thank you should suffice. A thank you? Is it really necessary to shout, Roman? You lied to me, presented fake evidence, and still want me to thank you? Calm down. No need for that. You were this close to ruining my entire career, and you want me to thank you? Ooh, Roman, don't conceal evidence. And then you just took my hair and pretended to be Lunac's too. Stomped upstairs, decided not to go downstairs until it was time to eat. I slammed the door shut behind me, and fell into the bed, burying my muzzle in the pillow. I heard footsteps hurrying upstairs, but I didn't care. Yes, this is a flashback. We still have a long time before dawn. Not to spoil anything, but your wife was literally just down the hall. Bah, she's unimportant right now, ho. Yeah, but if she catches us, you're screwed, you know, ho. Hoes. I mean, her family's pretty influential in Cordoba. Oh yeah, she's a merchant's daughter, isn't she? And the Marquis getting... I still love you if you were just a penniless bum on the street. So this has been going on for a while. But in this case, I might just try to get something between us just to back up. What? And how mon beurre would she find out? Well, given how much noise you make, I'm sure she knows by now. Oh, come on, just was you loony. Loony? Loony. Oh, okay. Cause loony, like $1. $1? Ah, yes, teasing Mary. Such a tease, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, no. Wait, so was the thing that we heard earlier these two and not 3V? No, still 3V. Initiative, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Chapter 4. What? Reading a brief history of Napoleon. What? I think this has made more questions than it has answered. And I think with all of that silliness, it is time to call it a day. So we'll find out what happens with the morning next time, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I can do to make this better. Or if you're as freaked out by this as I am. That was weird. That was confusion. Was Servi that guy? The person that I thought was Servi? These guys? I don't think so. I think that was 2 separate things. I'm confused. Anyway, have a great day, night, whatever you guys are doing, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!